the beast that bowed. In the year 3197, Earth's legacy was no longer just one of war. It was a warning. Humanity had earned its place in the stars a hard way, crawling from the irradiated ruins of 2 planetary-scale collapses, clawing up from corporate enslavement and machine rebellion. By the time Earth joined the galactic concord, other species whispered the same word behind closed doors. Deathworlder. They said it like a curse, like a prayer, and they weren't wrong. Sergeant Adrien Voss wasn't born on Earth, but the grit in his bloodline made him every bit a child of the Crucible. Genetically tailored, mentally honed, and battle-tested across the edge systems, he was a part of the Terran Vanguard, humanity's elite first strike force. His latest deployment was on Carthan 7, a jungle world designated Amber threat level by the Concord Civilian Council. Amber, however, didn't do it justice. The jungle was alive with nightmares. Something had stirred the Vexolith, a species so violent that the Concord had declared them uncontainable. Towering quadruped with armored chitin, bioplasma glands, and hive-tide aggression, they were bred for one thing: war. Legends told of ancient species using them as living weapons until they lost control and paid in extinction. The Vexolith didn't recognize treaties. They recognized strength, or so the Concord thought. Voss's squad had been ambushed during a deep recon mission. Of the 12, only he survived. He crawled into a crevice near a ravine, his exosuit cracked, HUD flickering. The jungle was howling. A Vexolith pack was on the move. Their massive footfalls vibrated the ground. He tried to power up the distress beacon, but the solar core was fried. He heard something. A roar. Not like the others. Guttural. Wounded. He turned and saw it. Massive, sleek, and wounded at the flank. A juvenile Vexolith, barely adult, covered in ash and sap, its plating scorched from plasma fire. It limped through the underbrush, crashing down not 10 meters from him. Instinct screamed, run, but logic whispered, opportunity. Voss keyed into the neural suite of his armor and activated the biosignal dampeners. Slowly, carefully, he emerged from cover. The beast turned its head, eyes locking onto him. Burning pools of violet. It hissed weakly, unable to rise. He could kill it, one round to the brainstem, a trophy to make the command proud. Instead, he pulled out a medfoam injector. It began on the 3rd night. Adrien Voss sat with his back against a moss-covered stone, exosuit cracked, weapons powered down to conserve energy. The jungle around him hissed and clicked with life, most of it hostile. The humidity clung to his skin like oil, seeping through the broken seals in his armor. His pulse was steady, but his mind raced. 10 meters away, the Vexolith lay in a shallow crater where it had collapsed from its injuries. Its dark chitin was lacerated with plasma burns. Thick sap-like blood oozed from the wound on its flank, partially clotted but showing signs of necrosis. Its breathing was shallow, rasping through inner membranes. A predator, born for war, left behind by its pack. Voss should have put it down. Instead, he crawled forward, dragging his field medkit. The Vexolith's head snapped up at the movement. Even wounded, it was fast, neck crest rising, bioluminescent markings glowing faint purple. A low growl rumbled from its throat, and its claws flexed against the soil, shredding roots. Voss stopped, one hand up. "I'm not here to finish you," he muttered, "but that wound will." He pulled the injector from the kit, pressurized medfoam. It was experimental, designed for battlefield trauma. No idea how it would interact with xenobiology. He pointed to the wound with the barrel of the injector. The Vexolith growled louder. "You've got 2 choices, monster," he said quietly. "Let me fix that leg or die out here alone." The beast froze, nostrils flaring. It was watching him, calculating, not with blind rage, but intelligence. The kind most Concord species swore didn't exist in Vexoliths. Then, slowly, the creature turned its head, exposing the wounded flank. Voss moved inch by inch, keeping low. He pressed the injector to the edge of the wound and activated it. A soft hiss, a puff of styrofoam. The beast screamed. It lashed out, tail smashing through a tree trunk near his head. Voss rolled clear, landing hard on his shoulder, expecting death, but it didn't charge. It staggered, then collapsed again, body shivering, the muscles around the foam-treated wound twitching. Voss got to his knees. That night, he slept behind a barrier of jagged branches, rifle cradled against his chest. And in the distance, the Vexolith lay curled in the ashes, eyes glowing dimly in the dark. Day 4. Voss rationed his water to cleanse the wound. No fresh supply. He used a fire-sterilized combat knife to carve away necrotic tissue. Every time he approached, the beast growled low, but not in defiance. It was pain, pride. He began talking to it, not commands but conversation. Had a squad once. Called me Brickwall. Took a plasma bolt to the chest. Kept moving. The creature's head tilted. A flick of interest. By nightfall, it no longer snapped at him when he got close. It drank the nutrient slurry he mixed from emergency rations and jungle starch roots. Slowly, warily, when a jungle crawler, a six-legged insect predator, came too close during the night, the Vexolith vaporized it with a snap of its plasma gland. D-Day 5, Voss noticed a change. The Vexolith began mimicking his postures. When he knelt, it lowered its massive frame slightly. When he stood, it tensed, eyes fixed on him. It wasn't subservience. It was recognition. He remembered the files from Concord xenoanthropology, how the Vexolith had once been part of synthetic hive culture, designed to operate in tandem with bonded handlers. That culture was long extinct, but maybe the instincts remained. By the end of the week, it no longer growled when he touched a wound. He began calling it Ash, for the way the jungle fire had left its chitin scorched black. It didn't respond to the name, but it watched him differently, as if listening. When extraction finally came, Voss stood with Ash beside the ruins of his beacon. The gunship's pilot screamed in panic over comms when he saw the silhouette. That's a Vexolith. He's alive with a damn Vexo. Voss didn't move. Ash stood calmly at his side, its tail coiled protectively around him. When the gunship landed, no one dared open fire. Not until command made sense of it. Word spread like wildfire. A human, not just surviving a Vexolith encounter, but taming one? Impossible. Defending the perimeter. Voss didn't miss the implication. The council demanded his presence. So did the scientists, the xenoethologists, the military, the High Concord Tribunal. Every other race had tried to weaponize the Vexolith centuries ago. The Carrion, the Zarnathi, even the Asquari Empire had lost entire colonies trying to control the beasts. They had failed. But somehow, Adrien Voss, a Terran, a Deathworlder, had succeeded. Ash wasn't a pet. It didn't obey commands like a trained beast, but it followed him, only him. When researchers tried to separate them for study, Ash nearly tore through 3 bulkheads. Voss had to sleep in a modified containment cell, with the creature curled around the base like a watchful dragon. Its aggression toward others was unpredictable, but to Voss, it was as gentle as a companion hound. Soon, the whispers began. He bonded with it. It bowed to him. The Deathworlders can break what the galaxy cannot. A Zarnathi admiral famously remarked, "If the humans can tame the Vexolith, what else can they bend to their will?" Then came the crisis on Norcalos 5. An Asquari war hive had gone rogue, threatening a border colony. The Concord scrambled fleets. Nothing worked. The hive's queen beast generated a psionic shield that burned out even the most advanced targeting systems. Command turned to the impossible. They turned to Voss. The dropship opened above the hive's chitin towers. Ash leapt first, landing in a coil of smoke and fury. Voss followed, riding cables down into the storm. The queen beast rose to meet them, 3 times the size of Ash. The fight was primal. Screams, thunder, kinetic fury. But Ash didn't yield. And neither did the human riding at its side, guiding it with silent cues, reading its posture like a second language. Together, they tore the queen down, not with precision weapons, but with fire, grit, and rage. Voss and Ash became legend, not just heroes, symbols to humanity. They were proof that even the wildest threats could be understood, mastered, not through domination, but respect earned in blood and survival. To the other races, they were a warning, because the Vexolith had chosen, not the Asquari, not the Zarnathi, not the Concord, a Terran, one of the Death Worlders. After that, Voss was rarely summoned unless there was no other option. His very presence made diplomats uneasy, admirals hesitant. A species that could breed soldiers like Adrien Voss, what else could they do? Some whispered of Earth's secret projects, of bonded beasts, neural links, hybrid war minds, of soldiers who could walk through alien hellscapes and emerge with the monsters at their side. The kind of stories that spread fear faster than fleets. Years later, a young cadet from a peaceful species asked him, trembling, during a Concord briefing, "Sir, how did you tame the Vexolith?" Voss stared at him. "Tame it?" he said, then smirked. "I didn't tame it. I bled with it. We survived together." The room fell silent. "They respect strength," he continued. "Not the kind you measure in weapons. The kind that doesn't break when the world ends." He stood to leave, and as he walked out, the floor vibrated slightly. Ash had been waiting outside, watching. Always, in time, monuments were erected, not politicians or empires, but a scarred human, clad in Terran armor, hand resting on the shoulder of a colossal beast, both standing not as master and pet, but as survivors, partners, and etched beneath in every major language. They brought monsters. We brought one of our own.